friends, in this video I'm going to tell you about the another second problem, that is discuss the software revolution during the period 1950 to 1990. So this is the question from the uh, E BALAGURUSAMY first chapter. So firstly I'm going to discuss about in 90 from 1950 to 1960. So from this we see that the machine and assembly language. Firstly, programmers wrote directly in binaries or assembly. And the first language, which was binary language, binary is the 0 and 1 assembly language, that is also called assembly language, which were very low level language. And initially it was used. So the next one is high level language, that is also Fortran in 1957, and COBOL 1959, Lisp 1958. They all emerged, making programming more accessible. Means after the first, that was binary, the high level language was there and it was more accessible than the assembly language. Then there is compilers and interpreters. In compiler, we know that it translates high level language into low level language. And there is also interpreter. These both are in some terms both are similar but not accurately similar. So these tools translate high level language or high level code into machine code, revolutionizing development. And what are the use cases where basically scientific computing, military simulation, and early business data processing. This was all about from the 1950 to 1960. Next one is 1970 to 1980, the rise of personal computing, in which we see that structured programming, in which language like C, that is evaluated in 1972, promoted modular readable code, and operating system that is Unix, that is come in 1969, and MS-DOS 1981 laid the foundation for multitasking and file management. GUI revolution, in which we see Apple, Macintosh, and Windows introduced graphical interfaces, shifting focus to user experience. Software engineering, we see, became a formal discipline emphasizing design, testing, and mental ability. Application, that is word processors, spreadsheets, and early PC games like Pac-Man and Pong and etc. were there. In the late 19th century to 1990, toward connectivity, we see is there networking begins and TCP/IP adaptation and ARPANET was being used there, and the expansion hinted at the coming internet ego is object-oriented programming. This is that is languages like Smalltalk and C++ can traction promoting reusable components. We know that how can you reuse the codes, and it's where also in C++. A software tools, that is IDEs, that is IDEs called integrated development environments, and in the version control system begins appearing, streamlining development workflows. So this was all about the second question, that is in which we discuss about the software revolution during the period of 1950 to 90s.